there's an anti-flipping tax. Does that mean I'm going to get taxed on all my flips? Yes. And you would have gotten taxed on your flips before. The anti-flipping tax has changed nothing for house flippers. Now, if you hold a property and you sell it after January 1st, 2023, you held it less than 12 months, you're going to have to pay tax on it as business income. Flipping was always active business income. I've been flipping houses for years, and I've always claimed my flipping income as active business income. It's no different. They're trying to stop people who would flip a house and hold it less than a year and pretend it wasn't a flip, pretend it was their primary residence, maybe pretend it was going to be a rental and claim it as capital gains. So anyone who is holding properties less than 12 months and selling them, that's who they're trying to stop from doing this. But they're not stopping the people who were flipping before, because those people were paying taxes on their flipping gains anyways. The difference before was that intention mattered, and intention is difficult to prove. So someone would move into a house and say, oh, well, I sold it after 6 months because I intended to live in there long term. It was my primary residence, but I decided I didn't like the neighbors, or I didn't like the neighborhood, or I didn't like the commute. And so I decided to move and I sold it, and oops, I made $200,000. But because I'm claiming it was my principal residence, I shouldn't have to pay tax on that. That's the loophole they're trying to close. They're not trying to stop professional house flippers, real estate investors from flipping houses. So what happens now? Well, if you've held the house less than 12 months and you don't fit certain exemptions, then it's going to be fully taxed as business income. Certain exemptions include divorce, death. You could argue, for example, losing your job and being moved by your job to a city that's quite far away and you can't stay in the same home. So there are still exceptions to it, but what they've taken out of the equation is your intention. It's basically a formula. If it's less than 12 months, your intention doesn't really matter. Now, what's the difference? Okay, well, for me, if I bought a house as a real estate investor, let's say I paid $500,000, I spent $150,000 renovating it, and then I sold it for $750,000. So I paid $500, I put $150 into it, I'm in at $650, and I sell it for $750. I'm not taxed on a $100,000 profit because I still have financing costs, I still have land transfer tax, I still have legal costs, realtor commissions, etc. So let's say I make a $50,000 profit. That is what I'm going to be taxed on. It's business income. It gets taxed at the business rate. Now, if you're flipping in a corporation, there's even advantages to that. If you're a small business that has less than net $500,000 in income, speak to your accountant, in net income, then you're paying, I believe it's approximately 12.5% in Ontario. So that's only at the corporate level. You get taxed again when you take out dividends, but it does allow you to reinvest in your business. So there's huge advantages to flipping in a corporation, to having active income in a Canadian-controlled private corporation, also known as a CCPC. So flipping houses has not been banned. Flipping houses is still fully allowed, and there's an extra tax on those who weren't doing it right. There's no difference for those who are already doing it right. Don't stop buying houses, and I'll see you on the flip side.